Yo, what is up, guys? You guys already know what it is today. Judging by the title, you guys already know what this video is going to be about. But before I start, I'm just going to talk about, I guess, my experience with Uber. Now, Uber is pretty good. I never had any bad experiences. I had this one time, I'm not gonna lie. I was going to some girl's house, and she literally paid for my Uber. Like, that's how bad she wanted me over. I was like, dang, okay. I mean, I want to brag, but I guess I got it in the bag. You know what I'm saying? She called, and she's like, hey, I'll just pay for your Uber right now. I just really want you over. I was like, all right, okay. But anyways, this was kind of late, but I got the payment or whatever, and I called up my the Uber driver. I texted or whatever, and so he came. It was like in some Honda Accord, I think. It was like a really old model, and the guy, I think he was Arabian. I forgot. This was like months ago, but it was kind of sketchy. Like, he just seemed kind of funny, and he barely spoke. I usually always start conversation with Uber drivers, like, hey, how you doing? Stuff like that. But this time, I tried that, and he was like very quiet. Like, he was really quiet. Like, he had all the windows down. I guess he didn't have AC, but like all the windows were down, and this place was like 30 minutes away. So here I was just sitting down, just like, wondering what's gonna happen. Like, this guy go shoot me or something. Like, I was just like kind of scared, but I just remained quiet. But anyways, nothing happened, but it was just really sketchy. But so today, I actually went into like an Uber. Okay, so today I needed a ride back home. You guys know I don't have a car right now, but sometime this month I'm gonna be getting a car. But anyways, I went on an Uber, and this guy, he's like a 40-year-old, 50-year-old African, black guy or whatever. Yeah, he's pretty cool, but he had a really bad direction. Like, he didn't know where he was going. I was like, come on, man. Like, I'm not about to pay you more just so you can find me. Like, it was kind of obvious. But anyways, pretty cool guy, I guess. But, that just had me curious. I was like, I need some content, like, you guys already seen Kayla. She's been on this channel for some time, probably 2 videos. She's just been on it. But, I was like, I need some content. I need something that's relatable, I guess, to me and you guys or whatever. So I was like, hey, why not do a video about Uber, And I looked up some stories about Uber, and I'm going to tell you one right now. So there was one time, it was like this guy, he was in a bar, and he was like drunk, and he clearly couldn't drive because he was drunk. And so he called him an Uber. Now, this Uber was really nice guy. And ultimately, the drunk guy, who was at the bar, who called the Uber, he wanted to go meet some girl on Tinder. And he was like, this girl, I was talking with this girl, and she wants me to meet up so we can like smoke or something like that. And he was telling the Uber guy that, like, he was very open to the Uber guy. And the Uber guy was like, okay, he was laughing. I was like, oh, okay, I remember those times I used to do stuff like that. So they talk, and so they end up at the place. Now, the place is a vacant house. Like, it's pitch black. All the windows are black. Seems like there's nothing there. Like, it just seems empty. And the Uber driver was like, hey, this looks kind of sketchy. You sure this is the right place? It's like, yeah, this is the place that's on my address. It's what she sent me. So this is it. And he's like, okay. And I gotta give congrats to this Uber driver, first of all, because he is like really concerned, which is really good. You don't really see that in a lot of people, especially when they're just working to get a paycheck. They just care more about the money than the person. But in this case, this Uber driver definitely cared more about the person, which is great. It's a great trait. But, anyway, so he drives up a little closer. The Uber driver, he drives up, and he just watches the whole thing. And he's like, this house looks kind of familiar. And only to find out, the guy who was drunk, he walks into this vacant house, and it's pitch black. He calls the girl nonstop. She's not answering, and all of a sudden she picks up, and it's this, instead of a woman's voice, like, it's a male. Like, it's just a straight-on guy, and he was talking, like, he could tell it was a guy rather than the girl, and he's like, oh, this is not it. And then he gets a call from the Uber driver. He's like, I want you to get out of that house. That house is dangerous. I want you to get out of it right now. And so the drunk guy listened to the Uber driver right away and got in the car, and he pulled up something on the news or something like that, saying that there's been this vacant house, and it was the same exact house as the vacant house. And last month or so, there was a murder, like a robbery, and then the guy murdered the man he robbed. And wow, I'm like, man, this Uber driver, I wish he was my Uber driver, because this guy went above and beyond and saved this guy's life. This drunk guy's life, he was just trying to get a little booty call, only to find out that he could have got killed, So this is really cool. I was like, man, okay, that's cool. And then there's another story, right? So this is with a couple. There's like a guy and some other guy, they were like dating or whatever, and they had gotten into some argument at a bar, and the other guy was like, you know what, I had enough of this. And he calls an Uber driver to pick him up. He calls the Uber driver and say, hey, I need you, you know how the Uber process goes. And so he waits, and then a car pulls up right next to him, and the lady's like, I'm the Uber, like she said something like Uber driver, or did you request for an Uber driver or something like that. And he's like, yeah, are you so and so? And she's like, oh yeah, that's me. And in my head I was like, come on. Yeah. And like, one thing, you guys know how Uber drivers work, so how when you request an Uber, it shows the model of the car, so he apparently didn't see that. But anyways, let's just get further on to the story. So this lady's like, yeah, you requested an Uber driver? And he's like, yeah, that's me. And so he gets in the car. And so it gets to a point where he's driving, and he's noticing that she's passing these significant stops in a road that, lead to his house. And he's like, you missed this area right here. And she's like, oh, I'm just taking the highway to your house. And he in his head is like, actually it's going to take longer to take the highway than just to take these roads. He notices that this lady is not answering any of his questions. She's very quiet, and she's looking all stiff, like her hands are like this on the wheel. She's very stiff, like head, she is like very alert, and she looks timid and scared. And he's like, excuse me, you pass, she eventually passes his house. So later, the guy, he gets a notification saying his Uber has arrived, but he's already in this other car. So he's like, wait a minute, you're definitely not my Uber, because it says here that my Uber has just arrived, and he's contacting me all of a sudden, and you're, I'm in this car. So he's trying to open the door, but the child lock is on, and he's trying to open it. He's like pushing, he's like, hey, let me out or whatever. And so she eventually just lets him out. I guess she just gets overwhelmed and scared, but he wants the Uber driver. He's like, hey, he explains to the Uber driver, hey, I just got abducted pretty much, and I'm gonna need you to please just come to this place and just pick me up or whatever. And he explains the whole story to the Uber driver, and he's like, yeah, there's been this trafficking scenario happening a lot with Uber, and you just need to make sure you need to check your car and all that stuff. And he apparently, he did not even check the model of the car. I'm like, bruh, you must want to get kidnapped. Like, you didn't check nothing. And I don't know, I guess he was just anxious to leave his significant other or whatever. But that's just something. I was just bored. I was like, okay, let me just look up some stories about Ubers or something like that. But anyways, I've not been in any crazy scenarios at all with Uber. But Uber ain't cheap. You guys know. Like, I literally paid $12 just to get to the next exit to my house. Like, I was literally an exit away, and I paid $12 for that. I'm like, dang, that's almost half a tank in a car. But you guys are in no struggle. When you don't have a car, you just gotta do what you gotta do. So, anyways, just something a little extra for you guys. Hope you guys are having a good day today. And, don't forget to subscribe, show your boy some love. And I'll see you guys in the next video. And make sure to click on this video right here. And, make sure to click on one of these videos here, because for sure this video is going to be something you will like. And this video right here is going to be probably going to be a video of me with Kayla or something like that. We're going to be talking about, just conspiracy theories and good stuff like that. But anyways, yeah, make sure to subscribe, like the video, let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So Peace out.